Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your December 2020 mid-month general reading. We are looking at the last 2 weeks of December, and this reading is for the water sign of Scorpio. Welcome everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all having a very nice holiday season, and in advance I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So this reading is for the water sign of Scorpios for the last 2 weeks of December. So that's Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising. If your Venus is in Scorpio, if you're cross-watching for a Scorpion, it's all relevant, but of course will resonate a little differently because it's a general reading. If you find that any of the readings do resonate with you and you'd like to reach out for a personal reading for yourself or perhaps as a holiday gift for friends, family, and loved ones, feel free to email me directly. If you click on the description link below, you'll see my email address, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I do offer a wide variety of readings in all the main areas of life of all different types and lengths and costs. I would be delighted to hear from you. And they do make great gifts, particularly during the holidays, particularly right now, because you don't have to leave your house or to either give them or receive them, so they're kind of safe that way. Also popular this time of year, Scorpio, your cards are jumping all over the place. Also popular this time of year are the 6 and 12 month overviews I do, which give us a sneak peek at what's coming ahead, 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look. A lot of people order those. Your guard, Scorpio. A lot of people order those as we're transitioning out of an old year and looking ahead at a new one, so something else to keep in mind. Okay, I'm going to finish shuffling here. Also, I do readings full-time. It's all that I do, so I'm pretty diligent at getting those personal readings, Scorpio, set up as quickly as possible. Okay, Scorpio, and for those who need to know, want to know, I'm using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with the Gilded Tarot Royale. We begin with the Nine of Cups, followed by the Nine of Wands, sorry, this was not the Nine of Cups, this is the Six of Cups, because I just pulled the Nine of Cups. We have the Nine of Cups here, how interesting. Prediction monitor is a little fast. So the Six of Cups with the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Cups with Strength. We have the Four of Coins with the Three of Cups. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy, focus, guidance is Judgment for the last 2 weeks of December. Scorpio, it feels very strange. I'm getting the message that you're trying to resist having a good time with someone or someone's that you have been in relationship with or have some kind of historical connection with, that you're actually deliberately trying to hold back from that. And I'm wondering why. And over it is Judgment, which is a major crossroads decision, which you will probably be final. I mean, there's an air of finality about Judgment. It represents, you know, being at a crossroads, and the decisions you make, the actions you take or don't, will set something in stone for quite a long time. You won't be able to reverse it. Like if you decide to stay with a situation, you'll probably just stay there for, you know, a long time, if not the rest of your life. If you decide to make changes, it's going to set you on a completely different life course. You know, that's what Judgment represents. It's a call to action, primarily to do something, to speak for yourself, to make, you know, this is your moment. You could do this, you could do that, or you could just let the moment pass, the opportunity pass. It's like what you do during this time period, or what the outcome of what you choose at the end of this time period is really important, because it's probably going to set in stone your choices for quite some time. And it feels like you're resisting having a good time, or the opportunity to connect or have a good time or really enjoy yourself in a very decadent, sensual sort of way. And for some of you, it might be just as simple as, maybe you have opportunities to get together for the holidays and you've chosen not to because a lot of us are on lockdown and it's just not safe. I mean, it might be that, just simply that. But it feels, judgment could fit that as well. But it feels there's also some personal element here, because with the Six of Cups and the Nine of Wands, the Six of Cups is the card of history. People, places, things you have either a past with or some kind of historical connection, childhood friends, childhood lovers, parents, roots of origin, where you grew up, people you have a history with, people, places, situations you have a history with. The innocence and carefree freedom of childhood when you looked at things through rose-colored glasses because you were children, not having the stresses and cares and worries that we do in today's grown-up world. But clarifying it is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands implies a situation which has already been there for some time, because you've gone from the Ace to the Nine. The Nine represents being close to the end of a cycle, because we end with the 10 of the suit. And the 10 in any suit can hold the full positive or full negative impact of the energy of that suit. So the element which governs the suit of Wands is fire, which is creative, aggressive, assertive, passionate, enthusiastic, beautiful energy. But too much and it can burn you or burn things down, and too little, of course, and things don't get manifested. So the Nine of Wands represents being close to the end but feeling discouraged, because the card after this would be the Ten of Wands, where the burden of the wands has become so heavy that it can't even stand upright. It's so heavy and needs to come to an end. So the Nine of Wands represents being close to the end and feeling kind of discouraged. There may have been yet another obstacle or challenge, and you're wondering, should I continue to try and climb up these stairs? Should I make a change? Is it worth making a change? Is a change even possible? Should I give up? Should I carry through? Sometimes the Nine of Wands can represent the dark night of the soul, whether you choose to continue or whether you choose to give up and go in a different direction. It represents kind of feeling at a place where you're just tired and weary and discouraged and wondering if you should continue. If there's something that you want, is it even possible to get this? Should you just try something out? It's kind of that moment where you're like, I don't know, should I keep going? I feel discouraged. Sometimes this card means powering through to the end, and sometimes you may need to take a look at whether or not it's worth continuing or not. And it's either something, someone that you have had this history with, because it takes some time to get to this Nine of Wands energy. So then we have the Nine of Cups, which is sitting next to the Six of Cups. This almost looks like a reuniting energy, or the opportunity to reunite. Could be love and romance, could be somebody else. But there's an underneath the surface implication here that while there might be some really fun and pleasurable aspects to this cycle, there's also underneath a whole nother thing is, maybe it's just all surface. The Nine of Cups is a great card. It's one of the cards of wish fulfillment. But it's not the Ten of Cups, which is the full and complete fulfillment of the watery suit of cups and emotions, the happy home card, the happily ever after white picket fence card. That's the Ten of Cups. This is the Nine of Cups. This is getting what you want, but it also carries the caution of be careful what you wish for, because then you might get it and it might not be everything you think it is. This is wish fulfillment and having more than enough in a very visceral, sensual, decadent sort of sense. More than enough food, more than enough drink, parties and hedonistic, lovely, wonderful energy. Although I've got this feeling in this reading that it's more surface stuff. It's feel good right now. That's all you want, more power to you, no judgment. Because underneath it, on top we've got the Six of Cups and the Nine of Cups, joyous, reuniting with things from the past, people from the past, or two people coming back together again after some period of separation. And it's like there's this opportunity, the Three of Cups, which is the party, social, getting together, having a good time, but it's all now energy. It's kind of like there's history between you and this person, place, situation. But what's coming in for this time period is like the Three of Cups and the Nine of Cups. It's all present now. Let's enjoy today because there isn't any tomorrow. Let's focus on having a really good time and connecting now. Let's not talk about the future. It's a bit like Libra's, and it reminds me of the reading I did for Libra earlier today. I mean, it's great, hedonistic, feeling good, having fun, getting your fill, and then some. But the top row of cards is like the presentation and what's on the surface. And the bottom row of cards are what's underneath, kind of all of that. We've got the Nine of Wands and Strength. This is feeling like, I don't know if I have the strength to go back into this cycle again or to continue this cycle again. Strength is a card that represents looking at things that are challenging, things that need to be dealt with, recognizing our limitations, what we're able to do and what we're not able to do, and the choices that we have, the power that we do have to make changes in our life. And doing that and moving through it, it takes a lot of strength, wisdom, true humility to go through this process, but it's also what you gain more of by going through this process and out the other end. So yeah, it's a cycle that feels like that it has unhealthy aspects to it. I mean, it may come wrapped in a great looking package and fun and feel good and party today for we may die tomorrow kind of sort of energy with someone that you have this connection with, whether it's love, romantic, or otherwise. But underneath, feels like you're longing for something different, something more substantial. And there is an opportunity, but I almost feel like saying temptation, because this thing has come back again and you're really tempted because it feels good while you're doing it. It feels good while the person's there. It's kind of like being in a relationship with somebody that you love for quite some time. And they come in and out, in and out, in and out. And it's such a miserable roller coaster ride. But when you're with them, you often have this great fun time. And when you don't, you're miserable. And when you're apart, and it just keeps going on and on and on. But every time they come back in, there's like this opportunity for yay, and then you find yourself back in the same cycle again. That's what this feels like. And it feels like you're actually trying to resist this. And Judgment being over this represents that whatever choices and decisions and changes that you make during this time or as a result of this time, you're probably not going to leave for quite some time. If you decide to get back in this cycle and stay in it, then you'll probably be stuck in this for quite a while longer. If you make changes, if you make the decision to not get back into this cycle, then you will probably quite permanently put yourself on a totally different life course. That's what Judgment represents, a call to action, but careful action. We have the Four of Coins and the Three of Cups. We have the Four of Coins clarified by the Three of Cups. So the Four of Coins represents, it's kind of the miser card, not giving out, being protective and guarded and defensive about what makes you feel safe and secure, whether it's money, finances, your emotions, your attention, your interaction. What are you withholding? What are you keeping to yourself? We have the Three of Cups clarifying this, which is that party, social, let's party, let's have a good time and eat and drink to our heart's content and more, and not worry about tomorrow. It feels like you're being sort of tempted during this time period to get back into a cycle which has its positive aspects and pleasurable aspects, but underneath it, it's just becoming too much. It's having the up and down effect of it, I feel, is taking a toll on you. And so it's like you're trying to be strong, and you're trying to actually resist from entering back into the cycle again, thereby perpetuating it even further. Somebody's coming back in. Perhaps somebody's physically coming back in, perhaps again because of the pandemic. Perhaps you're going to be quarantining for a time, so you don't have to really be put on the spot, but this is your time period for maybe a quarantine time or some period of time where you're considering, okay, when this is done and it's safe for us to kind of, am I going to go back into this or not, or what am I going to do? I'm tempted to because there's all this fun to be had. But underneath it, it's having the strength to look at what it really is. And it isn't everything that you want it to be. It might be the Nine of Cups, but it's not the Ten of Cups. And I have a sneaking suspicion, Scorpio, you want the Ten of Cups. Let's clarify a little bit here. Clarify judgment. Significant life crossroads, judgment. The Hermit. Right. So the Hermit clarifies judgment. What does the Hermit do? The same thing every monk, every monastic, ascetic person does. They withdraw for a time from the normal daily distractions and noise in order to gain wisdom, insight, clarity. So probably some of you, if not many of you, will be doing that during this time period. Again, for some of you, because there is a sense of reunification or reuniting, coming back together again, or the opportunity to, and you're taking some time to really contemplate whether you want to get back into whatever this cycle represents for you, because it feels like it's fundamentally flawed for you. Meaning that there's nothing wrong with, having the ideology of, just today, just today, just today. But in relationships with people, places, and situations, you have to be honest with yourself as to whether that's enough. If it's not, then this isn't going to be enough for you. And it's about kind of having the strength to be able to look at that and taking the time to step back and do that. Clarify the Six of Cups. The Three of Pentacles. Yeah, a partnership, a collaboration. Could be teamwork. It could be more than two people. It could be three people. It could be a group of people. But there's this weariness about it. I mean, and this connection with this person or group of people, it's, there's history there. This is not recent or new. But underneath it is this Nine of Wands is, I don't know, it's been the same thing. It's such a struggle. The Three of Pentacles is about teamwork and collaboration. So what does that mean? It's fundamentally about cooperation. People compromising and negotiating so that they can cooperate together in the same direction. They're on the same page for the same goal. And here it's a struggle. People aren't on the same page. You aren't on the same page with the person or vice versa, or this group of people. It might not be a romantic situation or anything like that. Let's see what this Nine of Wands is about. This sense of heaviness and discouragement and feeling nearly defeated. Kind of that dark night of the soul. But that dark night of the soul can be very illuminating and sometimes necessary to get through to the light of day. The Fool. What's behind that? The Ace of Cups. So that's what you're feeling a bit discouraged about, Scorpio. A brand new start, a brand new journey. The Fool has the 0. He's the very first major arcana card. The whole tarot of the journey is about the Fool. That's why it starts with him. It's us, starting off on a brand new journey. And we go through all of the cards, all of the experiences, growth, maturation, learning, till we get to the end with the World card. We graduate, ideally. And then we move on to another brand new journey of different lessons and different growth and evolvement. So here the discouragement about this partnership is about whether or not, and the Ace of Cups is new love, new romance, or, it represents new emotional awakenings, the heart opening up again, and clarity. It's kind of like the beginning of emotional intelligence as well. I think what you're feeling discouraged about is whether or not this situation, relationship, partnership can be transformed, if it can actually start off on a brand new, can it be transformed into something new? Because the Fool isn't something revamped. The Fool is a trailblazer. He doesn't go down paths he's already walked before. He's about new journeys and new beginnings and new awakenings. And it just feels like this is so much of a struggle, and you doubt as to whether or not you can kind of start over again or have this be transformed. Clarify strength. Strength is actually clarifying the Nine of Cups. It's like, why would you need to have strength about, wish fulfillment and having everything you want and your cups overflowing unless you view it as a temptation that you shouldn't indulge in? Clarify strength. The Four of Pentacles. This is clear. So we have that twice. We have the Four of Coins and the Four of Pentacles. Same card, two different decks. It's a card about holding back, withholding. Withholding to keep yourself safe, holding on to that which you have that makes you feel safe and stable and secure, and not sharing it. Withholding. Having the strength to hold back from this Nine of Cups. That's what it's about. The party and indulging and having everything, it's like, again, it's like being in love with a person, for love and romance. It's like being in love with a person who constantly comes in and out of your life, and it's miserable when they go out, when you're apart, and when they come back in, you want to like rail at them, but and maybe you do, but there's like, it's fun, and let's just have fun today, and it is, but it's not everything that you want, and ultimately, fundamentally, you're not happy with it. But every time they come back around again, it's so kind of tempting, and then you go into it, and then the cycle starts again, the same thing. And it feels like now you're looking at this and you're really making a concentrated effort to not go back in the cycle again until there's some kind of change, or perhaps make changes yourself to separate yourself from it if the other person is not on board, because there's fundamentally an issue here with people being on the same page. Maybe you're in a relationship with somebody who has a different relationship ideology, and it's time that you either live in acceptance of that and find peace and happiness in that, or make the decision to leave so that you can have what you want. If what you want is the Ten of Cups rather than the Nine of Cups. Let's just pull one final advice and guidance. One or two. Give me two cards. How should Scorpio navigate through this energy for the last 2 weeks of December? I look so pale in the camera to me. I don't know why. Maybe all this time spent indoors. I'm kind of pale anyway. Okay. The Page of Cups. So extend messages of love and support, but they're minor. This is a message from a page. This is like, love, I'm here for you, yeah, I care about you. This is nice. I mean, it might be a little flirtatious, but the Page of Cups is the beginning of messages. It's very sort of mild, emotional. Don't you love me? Of course, yeah, I love you. I mean, it's not heavy. Let's see what's behind that. The Four of Swords, taking a temporary withdrawal because you might feel worn out and you need to get different perspective, rest, recuperate, which is right along with the whole theme of these last 2 weeks with the Hermit and the Four of Swords. It's about taking a step back, whether it's deliberate or maybe it's just a quarantine thing, but it's giving you the opportunity to kind of reevaluate and look at this and say, okay, when we come back together again, how am I going to act? Am I just going to throw myself right back in the middle of it and continue the cycle again? Or am I going to say, for example, love relationship, yes, I care about you very much, but I need to take a step back because, I'm not really all that, and we happy, we have a good time, but then there's all this in-between stuff, and it's just, it doesn't feel like enough to me, and I need to take a step back and look at that. Sometimes that prompts changes in the other person or situation. Many times it doesn't, but sometimes it does, but the deciding factor should be you on your life, not based on the other side's kind of reactions and decisions. You need to make your own decisions and choices. And if they want to be on board with that with you, this is exactly what I said with Libra. How interesting. If they want to be on board with that, great. If not, you still need to move ahead and move on with your life. So, up to you. But judgment tells us, Scorpio, that whatever you decide, you'll probably stick with that decision for quite a long time. So, choose carefully. kind of heavy for a Christmas reading, but that's what it is. So Scorpio, that is your reading for the last 2 weeks of December. I hope you found it helpful and useful. If you did, and you are interested, again, in reaching out for a personal reading for yourself, or perhaps as a holiday gift for someone, click on the description link below. Email me directly at maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to hear from you and work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the very first general readings of the year 2021. In the meantime, have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Stay safe and well, be blessed, and I hope to see you back here again in the new and hopefully better year. Bye-bye.